Learn how to set up an HTTP request trigger that can be used in an Azure Logic app in this edition of Azure Tips and Tricks. If I want to create a Logic app, the first thing that I'll do is click on Create Resource in the Azure portal. Now in the marketplace, I'll type in Logic app. I'll select this first option. Now I should see an item for Logic app. I'll click on that, and now I'll hit Create. I need to give my Logic app a name. Twitter Logic app. I'll select the resource group that I want to put this in. I'll put it inside of my Azure Tips and Tricks. I'll select the region, East, and now I'll hit the Create button. Now that my resource is created, I'll click on this Go to Resource notification. And now I'm taken into an area where I can get started creating Logic apps using some of these common triggers. I want to trigger my Logic app when an HTTP request fires off. So I'm going to select this one. And now we can start editing our HTTP request. In a previous video, we spoke about how we can create a JSON schema, and we could use that to validate some of our HTTP requests. Well, I'm going to create a new schema here that I'm going to use. I'm going to call this message, and I'll hit submit to generate a new JSON schema. And now I'll copy it to the clipboard, and then back inside of Logic apps, I'll hit this edit button, and I'll paste in the request body JSON schema. Whenever I send over an HTTP request, Logic apps will use this schema to validate that the payload is as it should be. Now I can continue working with my Logic app by adding things like more actions and conditions. But that's how easy it is for you to set up an HTTP request trigger that's going to be able to start your Logic app workflow.